Hey my friends, welcome back to another episode of the Year of Cooking Canuck. I'm going to be doing another segment on my Clearly Canadian series. Now if you watched the first one, it was with a yellow split pea soup with ham. I did mention that I'm going to be making traditional Canadian food as well as foods that are inspired by other countries and as well as things that Canadians love and things that we just can't get enough of. Now this recipe here is loved all over North America. However, it stems from the native North Americans, so the native Canadians and Native Americans, and probably most likely in Mexico as well. I'm talking about something that's corn-based or maize. Now, the natives have been using corn in their recipes for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, and they have a plethora of recipes. What I'm going to be making today is something that's loved by Canadians from coast to coast and all over North America, and that is the best cornbread you've ever had. Now, this recipe is actually taken from Canadian living, so it's pretty much Canadian, and I like it because of the ratio of the cornmeal to the flour, but we'll get into that. Let's go in my kitchen and make awesome, fluffy, amazing cornbread. Hey guys, as always, welcome to the kitchen countertop. So here's all the ingredients we're going to need to make this amazing cornbread. Right, so the first thing you're going to want to do is get a pan and grease that. 8x8 is what usually I use. So obviously the star of the show is cornmeal or polenta. You're going to need 2 cups of cornmeal. And this is what I love about this recipe. Cornmeal is the star. It's cornbread. There's so many recipes that have more flour than cornmeal, and this recipe is mostly cornmeal. So 2 cups of cornmeal. You're going to need a half a cup of all-purpose flour, 1 tablespoon of sugar. Now, I'm not a huge fan of sweet cornbread, so I might go maybe half a teaspoon of sugar on this. You're going to need what tablespoon I meant, so it's 1 tablespoon of sugar. You're also going to need 1 tablespoon of baking powder, not bicarbonate of soda, baking powder. 1 teaspoon of salt, or to taste. You're going to need 2 eggs, of course. You're going to need a half a cup of cold butter. And then you're going to need 1 1/4 cups of buttermilk. Now, you can use regular milk, or if you do not have buttermilk, what you can do is what I did, is make your own buttermilk. So for 1 cup of milk, you'll need 1 tablespoon of vinegar. For the 1/4 cup, you'll need a 1/4 tablespoon of vinegar. You're going to let that sit until it starts to kind of curdle and get the consistency of buttermilk, and you can use that. Alternatively, you can use yogurt and add milk slowly until you get the consistency of buttermilk, and you're going to want 1 1/4 cups, okay, of that. So guys, that's all the ingredients we have. Now you can doctor this up definitely with some grated shredded cheddar cheese. You can even put bacon in here. You can put jalapeno peppers cut up, diced really small in here. Make it your own. This is just the basic recipe for cornbread. You can play with it later. You can add peppers, bacon, cheese, heck, all of them if you wanted. So this is what we need, and I'll be back and show you what I do. Hey gang, I'm back. So what I'm going to have here is my 2 eggs I've cracked into this little bowl. I'm going to add them to my buttermilk. I'm going to do this now so it's ready, and whisk them together. I crack my eggs in a separate bowl because if shells get in there, it's a little easier to remove, and instead of having it go into a big jug of milk or a recipe that you're cooking. Right, so that's done. Set that aside. Now, in my bowl here, I have the cornmeal, the flour, the salt, the sugar, the baking powder, and the cold butter, which is starting to warm up. So you can use a food processor, or you can use 2 knives. I use what God gave me, my hands. And you're going to mix this together. And it's important that the butter be cold so it doesn't start melting on you and sticking to you. Mine's a little starting to get warm, but at any rate, you're going to continue mixing this. Hope I'm showing you. I can smell that butter. Until you get kind of like a coarse, sandy pea mixture. It should resemble kind of like peas in there. So, continue working at this. You can see already it's starting to come together. Like little peas in there, or very coarse sand. Doesn't take long to pull together either. You don't want to overwork it, but it should, because you want that butter to disperse in there. Almost like when you do scones or biscuits, or so then you can start making a mess. You can see how lovely the texture is becoming now. So that looks good to me, and I've made a mess all over my counter. But for the sake of the show, that's fine. Right, so, and you can see my hands are dry. They're not gooky with butter. And they're clean, I washed them. Right, so now what you're going to do is obviously add your egg and buttermilk mixture back in. Give it another quick little whisk. And they're going to get to know each other now. So that's in. And then you're going to incorporate the two together until you reach a gorgeous batter. Like so. Now, I'm going to let this sit for about 5 minutes until the batter settles and the baking soda gets to meet everyone and it starts to thicken slightly, and I'll be back and show you what's next. It's so easy, guys. Alright guys, it's been about 5 minutes or so and my batter has thickened a little bit, and the cornmeal has absorbed the liquid. So all that's up to do is to transfer this into my baking pan. I have the oven set at 180 Celsius, that's 375 Fahrenheit. Get all this in there. And you can double this recipe if you wanted a bigger cornmeal, but I'm on my own, so I don't eat too much. And sorry for the noise. Tap it down. It's all even. I'm going to pop this into the oven for 30 minutes or until I stick a skewer in the middle and it comes out clean. And I'll show you when it's all done. It's that easy, guys. Like I said, you can add flavors to this. You can put in some grated sharp cheddar cheese, which would be great, some bacon, finely minced jalapeno peppers, a combination. Use your imagination. Alright guys, I'm going to pop this in the oven and I'll see you when it comes out. Hey guys, so my cornbread is out of the oven and I'm going to let it cool. I'm actually going to transfer this onto the stove because it has raised grill. You can cool this on a cooling rack if you don't have that. You can see it's going to come right out. It's not sticking. This actually stayed in the oven for about 35, almost 40 minutes. Every oven is different, guys. So what I did was after the 30 minutes, I checked it. The toothpick came out somewhat clean, but it was still quite yellow, and I wanted it to have a little bit more color. So I cranked the heat up to 200 Celsius for another 5 minutes, and it's perfect. It smells so good. Now you can cook this in a cake pan, or bread pan rather, bread loaf pan if you'd like, or in a cast iron skillet. Put in the oven. It's completely up to you, but I like this because I can just cut this into squares and serve it. So guys, it's pretty much done. Well, it is done, and I'll show you when it cools off. I really want a piece of it now, but it's piping hot. So I'll be right back and show you when this cools down a bit. Hey guys, so I've decided I can't really wait that long. I let it sit for about 2 minutes, and I was like, I gotta dig into this. So as you can see, the inside is so fluffy and gorgeous. The bottom has a beautiful golden color, still a bit steamy. It smells so good. I'm just gonna slice into this. Oh my goodness, look at that. Look at that. It's soft and moist. Just gonna put a bit of butter on here. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's melting right. Look at that, melting right in there. I mean, guys, this is best served warm. I'll be honest with you. Wow. It's just melting right in there. And you get that really beautiful yellow corn color because this recipe has more of a ratio of cornmeal to flour, which I love. Right, I can't stand it anymore. I'm gonna take a piece. Bon appetit. Ooh, it's hot. Oh my God. Mmm. 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 So moist. Guys, this is so good. I made a big pot of spaghetti sauce with meatballs, and I'm going to have spaghetti and meatballs tonight, and I can't wait to dip this in to the sauce. Words can't explain. This would even be good with some clotted cream or jam, or if you made it savory with the cheese and jalapeno or bacon. I'll tell you what I do with this sometimes. I slice them and I put them under the broiler or the grill in the oven and toast them. Pop a poached egg on top. Wow! So guys, thanks so much for watching. This is a really yummy, easy recipe to do. So we'll see you next time on Clearly Canadian. Have a great day. Merci beaucoup. Ciao. I have to come back. Guys, I can't stand it. It's so good. I put some of my tomato sauce that I made for my spaghetti on here, and it is the bomb. Guys, thanks again for watching. Please make this. It is so good. It's a crowd pleaser. Your family will love you and thank you, or your friends, or yourself. See you next time, guys. Bye for now.